Hi all, this is Dr. J at 11, streaming live from Long Island, New York. Weather was absolutely beautiful. We had a high of 68 degrees and it was sunny and warm. I was going around in a t-shirt. Felt great. Forget the fall foliage. We're back to the summer-like weather. Who needs Florida when we have Long Island, New York at 68 degrees and sunny? Trouble is, we don't get many days like this. In any event, the market was really happy as well until the last hour when it gave back about half its gains. That would be in the Dow, was up over 400, closed up over 2. The S&P and the NASDAQ as well gave back a good chunk of their gains. All three turned in candles today that look like reverse hammers. Not a very bullish sign. However, I told you the markets would end the sell-off on Tuesday, and I've got it right. So even if we get a continuation on the downside in the morning, big deal, it'll turn around and finish up. Well, it'll be up the next day. I'm not worried. And I was very concerned because the Dow and the NASDAQ show a classic ABC correction as opposed to a bear market. But the S&P 500 looks like a 5-down impulse wave, which would be the start of a bear market according to classical Elliott wave theory. However, Elliott wave guys, they just wave. They do magic. So the clear 5 down could easily be interpreted after the fact as something like a double zigzag. So it was a correction after all. A zigzag is an ABC correction. Well, instead of ABC, you get something like ABWXBC. They label it as such so that you get a double zigzag. In any event, whatever. I'm done with talking about Elliott wave theory. We are out of the sell-off and into the continuation of the bull, according to my thinking. I am now on record as saying just a correction, and that correction is over, which means we will make new highs probably by the end of January. I think we resume the bull in earnest after the midterm elections on Tuesday. So regardless of the results, Wednesday will be bullish, Thursday more bullish, Friday even more bullish. We will have a very bullish November, December, and January, at least 3 months. That'll take us to new highs. After that, if the bull is going to die, so be it. But I think for the next 3 months, we are going to get a resumption of the bull, and the bull will be charging like crazy. So let's take a quick look at the charts. But before I do that, let me remind you to do your own due diligence. Dr. J's opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. Seek an investment advisor if you choose to follow me. Occasionally, my ideas are good and you might want to follow me. I had a good idea that I told Shed on Monday. I told everyone, buy Amazon at around 1,500. So far, that's working out. Worked out for me. Okay, of course, it ain't over till I sell my position, right? All right, so let's continue with sharing screen. Please subscribe to this video. Please do that. If you're a good person, please subscribe. If you're not a good person, subscribe anyway. Just kidding. I know everybody is a good person. We're all good people. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be watching this presentation if we weren't good people. So let's look first at NASDAQ. We're going to look very quickly at these charts. They're all more or less the same, except for the SPX, which looks a little different. Okay, so this is a NASDAQ. We ended the sell-off on 2 days ago making a low of 65.74 from a high of 77.4, I believe it was. So no, from a high of 7,700 even. So from 7,700, we peeled off to 6,500, 6,600, about 1,100 points, about a 15% correction. That's a healthy correction. And now we're going to get half of it back almost immediately, drop back a little, and then get the rest of it back in a couple of more zigzags. I figure we will take about 5, maybe the third wave of 5 to make new highs using Elliott wave terminology. So I think come January, we'll make new highs and then maybe back off a little, make yet another set of new highs before this bull comes to an end. And I do think it will come to an end in 2019. Sorry to say, we have a flattening yield curve. We have all kinds of exogenous events that could occur. We have geopolitical risk. We have a stronger dollar, a tightening dollar, which doesn't do us any good. We have inflation risks. We have all kinds of risks. So I think 2019 is fraught with danger for the bull. But I do believe the beginning of 2019 will be really, really good. So let's see if only time will tell if Dr. J has it right. I had a sensational call 2 days ago, and hopefully it continues with by the uptrend. The uptrend continues. Let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Averages. You'll see a very similar picture. We had the high right here on of 27,000 roughly, and we went to as low as come on, as low as 24,000. So we went down about 3,000 points. That's about 2,700 would be 10%. So it's not much, 12%, something like that. It wasn't as bad as the NASDAQ, but it's more than a 10% correction. It's about the biggest correction we've had in this whole bull market that I can remember. Notice the inverted hammer. So we might continue to the downside at the open, might fill this little gap before we turn higher. That's what I think will happen, in fact. The S&P 500, that's the one that looks like a 5-wave down, but I'm disregarding that. I'm saying it is a correction, just like the Dow and the NASDAQ. And the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like saying that. No, because you can argue that it's a double zigzag, something like that. Double zigzag, you know, an A, a B, a W, an X, I don't know, an A, a B, whatever. I'm sure you can argue it away somehow. And that's what the Elliott wave will do when we go and take out the high on 9/21 of 29.34. We made it all the way down to a low of 2,600, 29 to 26. Not a big correction at all, about 10, 11%, something like that. So this was not a big correction. We also have a gap up and we have an inverted hammer. It could show weakness tomorrow, continuing this give back that occurred in the last hour of trading today. It could go down as low as 2,700, 2,682, fill the gap, then reverse. I don't know if it's necessary to do that, but it could do that. Confident we go up from here, whether or not we'd have a little down day tomorrow or not, doesn't matter. We're going to go up. The sell-off is over. That is Dr. J's opinion. Amazon, where's Amazon going? I'm already 100 points up on my trade. How greedy should I be? Says me. Okay, so Amazon looks like the S&P with a wave up and a wave down. That was lower, so that's one wave, two waves. Let's see, one wave up, two waves down, one down, two up, three down, four up, five down. So you could argue it's an impulse wave down and Amazon's in a bear market. It has the 20% down to definition of a bear market. 2050, all the way down to what? 1475. That's significant. Let's say 1450 at 600 points. That's a huge correction. It's up there, better than 25%. Okay, so I mean, there's every reason to say it's in a bear market. And even if it is in a bear market, the next wave up could take us halfway back. So I'm not worried about my position with Amazon. I don't think Amazon will remain in a bear market for long. Amazon is too good a stock. I'm not saying it's in a bear market, but it could be. Based on the 25% down, it's by definition in a bear market. Nevertheless, I refuse to admit Amazon is in a bear market. I'm going to call it a double zigzag, just like the S&P, and I expect it to make new highs. So I'm ignoring the 5 waves down. I'm ignoring the definition of a bear market when it comes to Amazon. Amazon is never bearish. It can only be bullish. Ask Jeff Bezos if you don't believe me. So, of course, I'm being a little silly. But it's okay. Dr. J is allowed to be silly and a little giddy even with his Amazon purchase at 1507. So this has been Dr. J, a euphorious Dr. J, a happy Dr. J. The sell-off is over. I don't want any more talk of sell-off. I don't want any more talk of bear market. We're going up, I hope. This has been Dr. J coming to you live, streaming live from Long Island, New York. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please view my other videos that I did today. They relate very strongly to the content of this video. Adios, amigos. Shalom, sayonara. Ciao.